Hello everyone, my name is Brett and sometimes I wear a beret. More stuff to set the scene, as today I bring you the Air Warrior's Interceptor, which is the same thing as the Thermal Hunter, but with a few different pieces and one not being the thermal optic sight. Heat sensor. This is a Kmart exclusive. All these exclusive stickers, whatever. These are running for $23 at Kmart, however, because they currently have a 15% off sale, I got mine for just shy of $20, which is basically then the same price as the Voidcaster. It's a $20 kind of week. Busby's track record so far with their magazine-fed springers has been pretty good. Not perfect, but with the Sentinel, the Snipe, and even the Champion, they've made some pretty good stuff. And sometimes that good stuff can be upgraded very nicely as well. So the big question is, can this take a K26? No, can this take any kind of spring upgrade? Are the internals comparable to that of, say, the Sentinel, which I'm looking at right now? That's what I'm going to compare it to. Is there potential for it there? Because that would make this blaster very useful in the long run. The other thing to compare it to is, say, this is another one of Busby's work. This is a different kind of internal system, and this is Andrea's rifle, and it's a less efficient internal system. So if it's like this, that's not good. Funny enough, this blaster also originally could not take Nerf magazines. This lip has been cut, so it now will take them. But I've heard similar things about the Interceptor slash Thermal Hunter not being able to take them. So what I'm going to do today is also test a bunch of different Nerf magazines I have in the Interceptor and see what the initial diagnosis is. You should be able to cut away any part if it's not, but I just want to see out of the box what it can do. So let's get it out of the box. I will tell you that right off the bat, the size of this with the stock on is just a little bit longer than the Sentinel, and with it off, it's a little bit shorter. The stock is okay, but not necessary. For someone like me, I guess it works alright. I'm a smaller guy. And yes, of course, as people have been talking about, the handle is a bit small. Here's a Baron for comparison. That's pretty similar. The difference with the Baron is that the Baron's handle, another notoriously small handle, it's thinner. Much, much thinner. And guess what? I don't really have that constant complaining about the small handles because I have small hands. Wah. Yeah, mock me. But basically, this is not terrible. I'm still going to replace the handle on my main Baron, but this one, being a little bit chunkier, I'm not too upset with. It fits my hand okay. It could still benefit from a handle replacement, but I'm not going to gripe about it. Compared to the original 8, it's a little bit longer. Here's a 10 from Nerf, and they are just about the same size. The Nerf one's a bit taller. Some of those shots were not doing too well, but most of them were okay. And that's the Interceptor. Now let's take a quick look at throwing some other magazines inside of it. Starting from the bottom, the 6. Alright. And we have issues. Okay, we kind of have issues. So when you do put a Nerf magazine in, if you just quickly put it in like that, it will come out, but if you just add a little bit of force, then it's fine. So this is compatible. Just, you have to give it an extra oomph, and then when you release it, it's fine. 10, same thing. 12, same thing. 18, same. Worker 22. Works. 18 drum. Same thing. 25 drum. and the 35. Solid. Well, that's uncomfortable. Jeez. It's just that little lip right there. Why you do that? This thing seems to perform just fine. I'm not going to claim any ranges or FPS readings. My goal here is just to see what's inside, so let's do that. Okay, 15 screws later and we are in. Here is the Sentinel internals, and this is the Interceptor. If anything, this looks familiar to something else. And that's because it is. This is not, unfortunately, a Sentinel. This is a Champion. Which, I said before, the Champion is not a bad blaster. But it's not as powerful. You can see they are... I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's copy-paste. There's definitely more room in this shell compared to the Champion, but I don't think that was the original problem that people had when they said, oh, the Champion's not as good, because it doesn't have as much room. It was the internals. Yeah. These two springs are the exact same. Yeah, that's too bad, but not terrible, so let's close it up. So what about the Interceptor, whose name I just realized is right here? The Interceptor is, well, it's a Champion, an Ultratech 8. And if you like that, then this blaster might be for you. It's a little more expensive than when Champions came out, but that's also because it comes with 2 magazines, a scope, Nerf to Busby rail adapter, and 30 darts, and a stock. So it's a bigger blaster. So I think the money is justified there. The price point overall, I think, is justifiable for what you get. That being said, it's not a replacement, I think, for the Sentinel. The internals on this are not the same specifically. They're the same as a Champion, which means if it can take a K26, then this can take a K26. And there's your answer to that. I think my friend Mr. Curry said it best. One is enough. Right now, I don't have any plans for something like this. I might try just giving it some extra boost inside, but I have a Champion. I think I thrifted another one too. I don't have a need for another one. One is enough. I'll run this in my next war, and if it's working really well, then yeah, I'll look more into it. The Champion, I think, had some issues with, sometimes I would prime it, or sometimes I'd bring it back and the magazine would fall out. It doesn't happen here because it's so stiff. You have to definitely be thinking about it with one hand on the grip. Like, that's good, but you definitely need conviction when putting magazines, Nerf magazines in here, and I can see that being a bit of a drawback, but again, that's just completely stock. You can fix it yourself if you really, really want to. And the slam fire could kill you too if you're not careful, because that will chamber a dart, and now you go to actually prime it and you've got one in the chamber, and now you're trying to put a second one in there and it gets to be a mess. So be careful with that. Credit where credit's due. This thing is neat, but criticism where criticism is due. The fact that the plunger assembly and housing is the exact same as the Champion, right up to the 2 little nubs on top for the Champion slide in here, which serve no purpose. Why are you so lazy, Busby? Why are you so lazy? So that's a comparison of the internals of the Busby Air Warriors Interceptor to some of its previous counterparts, and a look at some of the Nerf magazines it can take. All of them. If you like it, head over to Kmart. Should be there. Maybe monorail will be there as well. Who knows? Until next time, I'll see you later.